relief because I know everyone was anticipating for so long. And I know that I'll wait for a book, especially when I leave you in a not so nice place at the end of the second book, that there is that need, that want to have the finality, to see what's going to happen. But it takes a while to publish a book.
So when I get asked, is there a love triangle? Is there like a love triangle? And actually all three of the books.
Right.
My answer usually to readers is sort of, kind of, but not really. Would you agree? How would you answer that if someone were to ask you?
Because there's never a choice. It was always Evan.
Yeah.
Always. And Cole definitely was on purpose. He had to have the right personality, that he would, almost like a Drew personality, where he wanted to know her but not enough of her. So she didn't have to open up with him. If she was, she couldn't be with someone that was, again, more in her face like an Evan, she would absolutely, especially at that point in her life, would have bolted. So she couldn't have an aggressive personality that she, with her. So I needed him to be passive. I needed him to be insightful enough, but not make her uncomfortable. And he was a rebound. Really, it comes down to. So yeah, he was a nice guy, but he was the right personality for who I needed.
So he served the purpose.
Yeah, definitely served the purpose. And he's a guy,
yeah.
So there was definitely that chemistry there. And she was using him, and there's a point that he was using her too. But it's just he ended up really liking her. She was honest right from the beginning. And I know there's some people that were either angry that he was there at all, or the way she treated him. Yeah, she needed a rebound, she needed a buffer. So she also needed a point of comparison, just to recognize what was real. In the moment that it became real with Evan, because even when they were in California together, Cole was that measurement of what she was feeling for Evan. So when people, especially when they get back and Evan's there, and the first time they have an intimate scene, her and Cole, I did read some reviews, people were like, "What? Why? Evan's there. Why would she do this?" And because this is the guy she's seeing. She doesn't want Evan there. She's angry. She's upset. She's trying to push him away. So you see their relationship is your guide to seeing exactly when she starts feeling things for Evan. Because the moment she does is the moment is at that they're dancing and they look at each other like, it's done. We're done. Evan wanted her to be better, and Jonathan challenged her just to look at the darkness inside of her and kind of either heal from it in his own way. He was trying to help her, but he was also destroying her by making her recognize her own faults and accepting her feelings for her mother. I mean, Evan would never have pushed her in that direction.
Do you think it was good that Jonathan did that to her, though?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like necessary,
he was very necessary. Yeah. But it was like the light and the dark. They were very contrasting, even in physical form, of who they are and what they did for her. But it wasn't about the love that she had for Jonathan. It was a connection, and then it just, in comparison, she became unworthy of Evan, or so she thought. So that's where that distance comes in, because she is also going to the dark side, I guess, in that way, where she starts realizing how destructive she is to the people around her, with her choices, that she thinks she's doing the best thing is actually destroying, as she thinks in her head, everyone around her. Jonathan's feelings for her, whether he does love her or not, is, I kind of left that up to you guys. Can you really love somebody you have this really horrible, in a way, connection with, this really dark connection with? Unhealthy. So is it really love, or this is the first person he's ever been able to talk to about it? So it's just more of a, you have to definitely look at that and decide if, I questioned it myself. But she never, and I made sure even when he kissed her, she would retract. So there was never a temptation for her. She didn't understand what was happening between them. She didn't know where that line got crossed, and that's where, when she had those uncomfortable moments where he's calling her and texting her, and she's like, I don't know what's I'm feeling. This is strange, because it's just he's tempting her in a way she's never been before, but it was never about choosing him. It was never about that. So when this Team Jonathan, Team Evan thing came out, after everyone read that, I was like,
who's Team Donovan?
well, there are people that really
yeah.
like him, and they were like, well, maybe they would be good for each other, they help each other heal, and I'm like, but so where did this come from? Like, why are there's no choice. There's no choice between Evan and Jonathan. I'm like, you guys can think that, maybe you wanted to, but so that's why it was so funny, it was the interpretation of it, because when I created it, I know I definitely wanted there to be tension, and for Jonathan's feelings to be strong, but maybe not in a healthy way, and just being confusing about what exactly they are, because I do believe there's a misinterpretation of what love is often. They had to get to know each other again. It had been 2 years by the time they got to see each other, and a lot has happened. I mean, neither one of them are the same. So it is getting to know, it's getting the trust back, and that's huge, because you can't just go back into a relationship without realizing what it was that went wrong in the first place, and fixing that before you can move on. And that's the one that kept happening, and that's the same thing that Sarah was saying, and Serena, just, she's like, he needs to forgive me before, and I need to forgive myself before we can be healthy together. And that's what it is. They want to do it right. If they were going to be together, they needed to put all the cards on the table and to be completely honest. And that's what it came down to. And until the last pages of just getting that honesty and just accepting you for everything I've done, all the decisions I've made, love me or hate me for them, it's your choice now. So but you have to build that trust and have that forgiveness, otherwise you're stuck in nothing. It was very much, I mean, I love thrillers. That's what I grew up reading. So I like to write in that suspenseful way. So at the end of the chapter, I kind of leave you in a place where you're like, okay, but I can read one more, because I don't conclude it. I leave you in a place that something's going to happen now. So it's very much on purpose, the way I write it. It was definitely on purpose to kind of lead you up to what way, because you can understand it in both circumstances, where you can forgive her for holding such a horrible secret, or you can accept the fact that understand why she did it. Like, this is part of her life, this is part of who she is. Taking over and taking on the burden of others. Well, I can't officially say anything yet, but I've been talking to a production team. We're trying to do something very innovative and new, and I'm excited to be getting paid for their project, to the point where I have to learn how to write a screenplay. Yeah, so I'm going to, so it'll be my voice. I'll have a heavy hand in this project. I'm meeting with them again next week, but there's no contracts yet. So I don't want to go into too much detail because it could fall apart tomorrow and be like, oh.
So there's a chance.
Yes,
there's a chance.
There's a very, very strong chance.
Okay.
But it won't necessarily mean that it's going to be big screen. But that's what the novelty of this, the newness of what we're creating, is going to be a different experience. So, but I think it's going to be better.